What is up, you guys? Max back here with another video. In this video, I am in a 2020 Mustang EcoBoost. I want to be answering the question. Well, first of all, I want to talk about my experience with this car, and I want to answer the question, is this a good entry-level sports car that you should consider buying based off my little experience driving in and being in this car. So I got the opportunity to have this car on a vacation. Usually my family will go with whatever's convenient, whatever's most practical, like a Camry, a Corolla, something like that. This time we got the opportunity to get a Mustang. It happens to be a convertible, which is even better. And yeah, so just really cool, and I want to talk about my experience in this video. So really quickly, I want to talk about my experience with cars and why my opinion might mean something. So right now I currently drive a C6 Corvette. It's got an LS2 in it. I used to have a C8 Corvette, and my second car, or the first car I had on my own, was a V6 Camaro, and then my first car that I shared with my brother was a V6 Mustang convertible, a 2007. So I have a little bit of experience driving fun cars, and specifically Mustangs, Camaros, some of which have not been the full V8, just like this one, obviously, which we'll touch on later in the video. So I think I can add something or add some perspective. So let's hop into the video and let's talk about some of the pros of this car. So the first pro we're going to get into is the fact that this car is absolutely gorgeous. You'll notice it right away. It's got great styling. This car is a 55-year anniversary model year, but it's going to look the same pretty much as all the other S550s that started in 2015. So you're really going to get a pretty aggressive look, even for it being a convertible. I know with the soft top up, it doesn't look as aggressive as the hard top, but it definitely does look okay. And when the top is down, you're going to get a lot of enjoyment, and it's going to look a whole lot better. So just want to point that out, that the car looks absolutely gorgeous, and being in it and looking at it is definitely just a thrill in and of itself. The second pro I want to talk about is the power on this car. Now, it can be looked at as a negative because it doesn't have that full V8 power, but the truth is V8s just 10 years ago, 12 years ago, for the Ford Mustang, had close to the power that this four-cylinder has. So interesting, just because a 2009 Mustang GT, for example, has 305 horsepower or something like that. This car has got 310, but no one will give it the respect it probably deserves because of the lack of power. But really, that's not the case, right? Because it has some pretty good power. In today's standards, 310 is not crazy, but it is enough to feel safe in traffic, right? You could pass a truck, you can, go by some people, and you'll feel good, you'll feel confident. It's not a slow car by any means, but certainly it's not a big V8 with 400 plus horsepower. So I have been in a Coyote Mustang, and those cars sound great, they look great, just like this one does. And they are quick, but that doesn't mean this car isn't quick for what it is, for sure. So you're not going to be super disappointed if you think you're getting in a really slow car. When you get in this car, it's not that slow, right? When you put the pedal down in sport mode or whatever, you're going to feel it, and it is a good experience. Next thing I just want to touch on is just how nice the car feels. It's got heated and cooled seats, it's got the nice dash, it's got a bigger infotainment system that we've seen in some past years before we saw this little, maybe like 2-inch by 2-inch square with a little backup camera. This is a lot bigger than that. I don't know the exact size. When you got Apple Maps up there, it really looks good. You can really read everything, and it's been a pleasure to be around and drive in. Another thing is the gas mileage is going to be way better on this than it will be on the GT. There's also a big price discrepancy between the two, new and used. This car you can get for $20,000 to $25,000 used, which is a pretty good bargain for what you get, just from a fun factor, right? So I'll talk about that. The car is extremely fun to be in. I think the fact that it is a convertible does help, and I am in Florida, beautiful weather, so it has been a fun time. I'll take the top down here just so I can see how long it takes. You just bring this down, turn it, and here we go. There it is. Top is down, and I'm having a great time. So this car is a lot of fun. I love being in a convertible. I love the wind in my face, got beautiful weather, and even the car I drive currently, like I mentioned, a C6 Corvette, it's got the removable top. You store it in the trunk, and you sort of get a semi-convertible there. But there's nothing like the ease of use of just clicking a button like you can do here. So really enjoy that, and this car feels absolutely great. I'm a guy who's not a super speeder. I'm not going really fast or accelerating all the time. It's nice to have that power, but 95% of the time you're not doing that. So might as well get the better gas mileage and the same sort of experience being in a convertible as you would in a GT convertible, for just by example. Now, some quick negatives or cons of the car, just the fact that it is a soft top, so if you don't like that appearance, then it might not be the car for you. You don't get that V8 power, but if you can't afford the Mustang GT and this is an option for you, I would not count this out. I think this is a great option for most people, but it certainly is not the GT, and that is a whole different experience. So the second con, and probably the last con of this car, is the fact that it is not the GT. I know in this video I sort of justified the fact that this car is good enough itself, and it is, but if you're looking for bigger and better, I guess, then the GT is the way to go. Although I don't think you're missing a whole lot. You're not going to really regret it, and if you do really regret it, I think you would have known that beforehand, that's what you really wanted from the beginning. The last thing I will mention is the backseat room. There's not much. It's enough to put some things back there and carry around a kid or someone that's pretty small. We do have someone with us on the trip here that's about 5'3", and they fit back there comfortably for over an hour, so I don't think it is not manageable. I know some people talk about how there's absolutely no room back there, but there is some room back there. It's not crazy. It can be done, but it's not ideal. It's not going to be like a sedan, but it's not for full seats, I guess is what I would say. Only for small children or small people is what it would really be good for. But just keep that in mind. I just want to briefly mention that, but I'm pretty sure that's obvious. So to end the video off my brief experience driving the car, looking at how fun the car is and the experience I've gotten with the car, the gas mileage, and just everything overall, I would 100% recommend this car, especially if you can get it used. I know I mentioned it earlier. For $20,000 or $25,000, in that range, maybe less, you can get an S550 convertible EcoBoost, and that may be the way to go. I think I would call it an experience bargain for what you're getting, not necessarily a performance bargain, because you can probably do better for the money as far as that goes with 0 to 60s and lap times, but for the experience and what you get, and me personally, I love the way the car looks. So for me, it's a no-brainer, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.